Yes guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode number 29 of our EAFC 26 career mode here with Brentford, season 3 of this career mode where we have recently moved over to Brentford. So I hope you have enjoyed the series so far and hope you will continue to support myself and enjoy videos. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And we start off this episode with a few new youth players coming to the squad. The first of those, young English central defence midfielder Sam Dodd, who is coming in 17 years old, 64 rated, potential up to 85, looks like he could be an absolute star in the future. And the second of them is the Brazilian winger, or left midfielder should I say, which is Reese. He is only 58 rated, potential up to 86, still only 16 years old. Really good pace on him, to be fair, and hopefully can grow with myself and the club and hopefully continue his development. And then we do get some good news that Kelleher is back from injury. Obviously he was only out for 3 weeks, so he is back from injury. And we do also get a message, we got a message in the last episode about Bangula being back from injury, and he mentioned that he is feeling much better, ready to play, and hopefully we can get him back in the team. And he will get back in the team on the bench, I believe, in this game against Leeds United at home against Brentford. Obviously we haven't got off to a greatest start in the league this season, but a team like Leeds is a team that we should potentially be getting something out of. Hopefully a win, but at least getting a draw out of. Obviously a team that's probably in and around ourselves in terms of quality, and hopefully on our day we can beat those, especially with the fans behind us at the GTEC Community Stadium here in Brentford. But again, it's one of those that could, in a bad way, go completely the other way, and we could end up losing this game against Leeds. So we need to be at our best, and hopefully we can come away with something in this game. Kick from left to right in this first half, and it is ourselves who get the better of the start. So Sotaro down this left hand side, plays in Damsgaard, looking to cut inside, but plays it instead to Vlahovic. Vlahovic with a good shot on that stronger left foot of his, but just wide of the post and couldn't quite put it in. Then Leeds got their first opportunity of the game. Ball falls to Anton Stack on the edge of the box, plays into Noah Okafor. Really good shot from Okafor, trying to curl it in, couldn't quite get it past. And Valdemirson, who's still playing, although Kelleher's back from injury. We just wanted to give Kelleher that one game rest since he's back from injury, so he is on the bench. But Valdemirson kept that first shot, but unfortunately he couldn't keep him out for any longer, and it is that man once again, Noah Okafor, who does the exact same technique, this time a little bit wider, and does find the back of the net instead of Valdemirson's glove. So 1-0 to Leeds fairly early on in this first half, and then they do get another chance there, but once again Valdemirson with the save from Okafor to keep the scores just at that 1-0. But it was Leeds who are really pressing at this stage, and they do manage to get their second of the game, and it's the ex-Newcastle man, Sean Longstaff, who does poke that one in. Free in the middle of the box, all he had to do was poke it in, pokes it under Valdemirson, and does give Leeds an early 2-0 lead. So obviously we mentioned at the start, this was a game that we should, or was hoping to get something out of, but it's definitely not going that way at the minute, and unfortunately it went from bad to worse. A good first save from Valdemirson from Okafor's shot, but it was Sean Longstaff there once again who put it into an empty net from the middle of the box, and he does get his second goal of the game and of the season to give Leeds a 3-0 lead going into half time. And they carried on where they left off, and they did manage to get a fourth fairly early on in the second half, and it is Anton Stack this time. Puts it into that far corner past Valdemirson, and we are 4-0 down against Leeds. So we knew some changes were needed. We did take on Yekarov, and we bought that man who's back from injury for his Premier League debut, Sami Mbangula. The man we brought over with us from Werder Bremen. We changed the formation at this stage to a 4-1-2-1-2, hence where Onyeka came off of Bangula, and it nearly paid off straight away. Bangula with a good ball in, but unfortunately Vlahovic couldn't direct his header goalward, and it did go wide of the post. But about 10 minutes later we did get another chance. Sano with a good fake shot there, good shot with his left foot in the end, but a good save from a goalkeeper in the Leeds goal to keep that one behind for a corner kick, which Mikkel Damsgaard will look to take. That right foot, looking to swing the ball out, finds its way towards Vlahovic, a decent header from Vlahovic, but couldn't quite keep it down just enough, and it does fly over the top of the crossbar before a couple more changes. Atara and Vandenberg coming off of Burkhart and Nedeljkovic in that right back role, and hopefully those changes can provide some sort of consolation at least in this game. And it's Burkhart, the substitute, who does get the first opportunity, gets a shot away on his left foot, but unfortunately it is near post. The Leeds goalkeeper was never going to get beaten from there. And then although we were on top in this second half, Leeds had sort of taken their foot off the gas. They did get a really good chance there, a really good shot to be fair from Dan James on his left foot, but just over the crossbar, and unfortunately the game it did end 4-0 to Leeds. So a really poor result, and one we definitely need to put behind us and move on from. Bangula was obviously happy about getting his Premier League debut, but we had no time to mess around when we had to jump into the second game, which was away from home this time, down to the south coast and away to Brighton Hove Albion. And after that loss against Leeds, we needed to come back with something here. We were in a horrendous position in terms of results, in terms of league position, still not even a point on the board in the league this season, so we knew we had to come back and hopefully get something against this Brighton side. But away from home against a good Brighton side, we knew this one was not going to be easy. And it was Brighton who got the first opportunity just a couple minutes in. Really good ball over top from Mitoma. Gets the header from Jorginho Ruta, and Kelleher in goal makes a grave error. First minute and a half back from injury, and I'll show you the replay. I don't normally show replays, but I wanted to show this one because it's good ball over by Mitoma, to be fair. Ruta gets the header ahead of the defender, but it goes straight through Kelleher's arms. You'll see it here. It's pretty much straight. I mean, it wasn't a powerful header, it wasn't high, it didn't have that great direction. It goes straight through Kelleher's arms and does give Brighton the early 1-0 lead. So really poor from the Irish goalkeeper there on his return from injury, but hopefully gets that one mistake out of the way, and hopefully won't be too many more going forward. But it was Brighton who carried on attacking, and they do manage to get their second goal in under 10 minutes. Good play down his left-hand side once again by Kaoru Mitoma. It eventually finds its way into João Mario, and he managed to put it into an empty net to give Brighton the 2-0 lead just 10 minutes into this game, and it went from bad to worse straight away. 14 minutes in now, and Yasin Ayari gets Brighton's third goal of the game to give them an unassailable lead in this first half, to be fair. And it was one of those that just looked like it was going to keep getting worse. Good shot there from Ruta 20 minutes in, but a good save from Kelleher to tip it around the post for a corner kick. And from a resulting corner, Mitoma, who plays it short into Jorginho Ruta, looks to beat the defender. He does manage to beat the defender with his strength, gets the ball across into Coppola. Good shot from him, but fortunately wide of the post and no further danger from there. But we did start to come back into the game about 5 minutes later. Damsgaard picks the ball up, plays into Bangula. Bangula fires one that looked more out of frustration more than anything, and Sami Bangula, to be fair to him, that's a cracking finish. His first goal for the club, his first goal in the Premier League on just his first start for the club. Obviously he came on as a substitute in the last game for his Premier League debut, but on his first start for the club does manage to get a goal and cut that lead to 3-1. But unfortunately the lead went back to 3 goals with a fourth for Brighton Hove Albion, again down the left hand side, playing into the middle of the box, and again it was an easy finish, this time for Matt O'Reilly to get his first of the season. And unfortunately we are 4-1 down in this one. Obviously 4-0 loss against Leeds and 4-1 down against Brighton. We've got a really good chance here to come back to 4-2. Really good shot from Tete from close range, but straight of the goalkeeper and saved by Beadle. And then we did get another chance, Damsgaard with a chance this time, but again a really weak shot, to be fair, and a good outstretched arm from Beadle in the Brighton goal to push it on behind for a corner. Looking to obviously score from the corner, plays it short into Damsgaard. Damsgaard can't quite beat the man. It falls to João Mario, who can look to break. Otara's hassling him, gets the ball back, plays it back to Cardona, the left back, plays it back into Otara, looks to get the cross him, swings it into Vlahovic. Unfortunately couldn't get that. Tete with a good decent shot on the volley, but once again Beadle was there to make the save. A little bit more of a difficult shot for Tete that time, but once again a really good save from Beadle to keep that one out. And the corner once again, Vlahovic gets it this time, but unfortunately his header does go wide of post. It did take a little nick on the way through, so it does go out for another corner. Third corner in succession. Otara swings it in once again towards Vlahovic once again, falls out eventually to Sano, plays it into Damsgaard in the middle of the area, gets a decent shot, but once again a really good save from the goalkeeper to keep that one out and keep the scores at 4-1 going into half time. But in the second half, Brighton started off better of the two teams, and they did manage to get their fifth of the game. Once again it was down that left hand side where they got the joy down that left hand side, plays it across for goal, and it's Yasin Ayari who gets there for his second goal of the game to give Brighton a 5-1 lead, and a really embarrassing scoreline for us at this point. But we still kept going, we still obviously wanted to cut this deficit as much as we can. Vlahovic with another decent header, but unfortunately couldn't cause any danger to Beadle in the Brighton goal. And then we did unfortunately end up giving away a penalty, and it's Stanisic who gives this one away. The ball comes in, Stanisic slides in to try and get that ball, but unfortunately gets a man before the ball right in the corner of the box, and Brighton do have a chance. You'll see this here, he goes to the ball but unfortunately brings down Jorginho Ruta, and Brighton do have a chance to get their sixth of the game. We do make a change before it, Vlahovic coming off for Burkhardt. Vlahovic, although he's got a few headers, his shooting hasn't been there and he hasn't caused too many dangers, so he did bring Burkhardt on to see what he could do. But before any of that, Brighton did manage to get their sixth of the game, Ruta's second of the game, and at this stage with just 10 minutes left of the game, we knew beforehand this game was out of the window, but definitely at this stage 6-1 down with 10 minutes left, this one was definitely not going to be one we could get anything from. We did get a really good chance towards the end. Burkhardt just come on as a substitute, and a really good finish from him, to be fair. Really good pace to beat the defenders, kept onside, and a really composed finish to put that one in and cut the scoreline to 6-2. But still, we're definitely not going to be able to get anything from this game. And it was one of those, again, similar to the Leeds result. It was one we were hopeful coming into the game, but unfortunately it just didn't turn out the way we planned it. Utara gets a good chance there towards the end, but a good save from a goalkeeper, and the scores did end 6-2. And we did get a message from Frank Onyeka saying he's been playing really well, and he thinks he should be playing in this one. We are in the EFL Cup game this time, and it is against a really good team, Arsenal. We do make some changes in here. Daniel's the youngster coming on in left mid, Amas coming on left back as well, Arthur coming on in central defence, and we also do have the young goalkeeper Stone in goal for us, and Arthur and Stone have got an absolute colossus task as the youngsters in that defensive and goalkeeping line, because Arsenal have some absolute quality players in this team, and the big one is they have brought somehow Kylian Mbappe to their front line. So the two youngsters, Stone and Arthur, their task is to keep out one of the world's best players in Kylian Mbappe, and Stone does make a good first save early on from Martin Odegaard. But like I say, we knew this one was going to be really difficult. A really good Arsenal side, even if they have made some changes as it's a cup game, they still had an absolutely class team, and we knew this one was going to be a really difficult one. We knew that first season at West Ham, although we were horrendous in the league, we were okay in the cup, so hopefully we could come through this one and hopefully have a little bit of a cup run. But like I say, it was one that we knew was going to be really difficult, but we did get a really good chance here. Burkhardt with a good shot, but a good save from the goalkeeper in the Arsenal goal to keep that one out. We've actually got Alisson in goal, the ex-Liverpool goalkeeper, in goal, so that shows how good this Arsenal side is. And then from a resulting corner, it's Collins with a header, but once again, no, it wasn't Alisson, sorry, it was the Italian goalkeeper. Arsenal have bought Alisson, but he's not playing in this one. But Stone in our goal, whilst we're talking about goalkeepers, playing absolute quality. Obviously a young American goalkeeper. He's really tall, he's about 6'7" to be fair, so he's a really big goalkeeper, and he made a really good save there from Mbappe. It was a real ping pong game to be fair, real back and forth, and actually we did manage to take the lead in this one just before half time, about 15 minutes before, and it is that man Jonathan Burkhardt from Germany who does fire that one in at the near post, past the goalkeeper, and a really powerful finish to give us a probably undeserved, probably even more so unexpected lead in this one. But unfortunately Arsenal did come back pretty much straight away. Some good play from Saka on the edge of the box, and it fell to that man we spoke about at the start, Kylian Mbappe, and there was absolutely no doubt he was going to finish that one. And it's an absolute joy to see Kylian Mbappe in the Premier League, but obviously not playing against us. So we did go into half time at 1-1, which was definitely a position we were happy with, but unfortunately it didn't take long for Arsenal to get their second. Josh Stone this time caught in no man's land in our goal, and Martin Odegaard with his experience and quality just managed to lift it over the goalkeeper to give Arsenal that 2-1 lead just 10 minutes into this second half. And then Arsenal started to really attack here. The ball falls to Almonwalo, gets a decent shot in, but a good save once again from Josh Stone, and to be fair, he has really impressed me in goal in this game. We did make a few changes with Daniels and Nedeljkovic coming off for Thiago and Janelt. Just some fresh legs in there, obviously still only 2-1, still got a chance coming back from this one, but Arsenal did nearly come close again from a corner. Tapsoba with a good header, but once again Stone, a good save from him, no doubt about that. He's 6'7", like I say, so he was always going to save that one. And then we started to get some really good opportunities, to be fair. A really good chance by Tete, but a good save from goalkeeper in the Arsenal goal. It eventually finds way Damsgaard, beats the defender, gets through on goal, and does fire that one in to bring the scores back to 2-2 with about 20 or so minutes left of this game. We were currently sitting at 2-2. A really good goal from Mikael Damsgaard, one of the first team players obviously playing in this game, and using his quality and his experience to get this one. A really good chance towards the end by Igor Thiago, but once again the goalkeeper stood tall really well and manages to make the block to see that one out for a corner kick. And it was us, probably unexpectedly, it was us who were really pressing at this stage of the game. The last 10 minutes or so, it was us who were really pushing to get this winner in this one. Ball down this left hand side, finds its way to Harry Amas, finds its way to Django Otara. Really good shot from him on his right foot, but unfortunately straight of goalkeeper, and a really easy save for the goalkeeper. And it's Otara who obviously had that shot, who does look to take this corner, plays it short into Mikael Damsgaard, but unfortunately nicked off him by the Arsenal defender, and Arsenal can look to break here. It's Reed who picks the ball up, looking to beat Otara, does do exactly that, finds Odegaard in the middle of the park. Odegaard's got options here, plays into Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe takes the ball, unfortunately the defender couldn't get there, but once again Josh Stone was there, a right hand stuck out, and a good save from him. And now it was just a case, couple of minutes to keep in this game, but unfortunately, and the last few minutes we did concede the third goal of the game. Stone once again came out a little bit, got caught in no man's land once again, and Mbappe was there to tip that one over, similar to the Odegaard goal, and Mbappe does give Arsenal that 3-2 lead, which at this stage of the game is likely to be the goal that puts Arsenal into the next round of Cup. But right before the end, we did get a really good chance. Tete down his right hand side, plays it across, but unfortunately couldn't beat the goalkeeper and get it to Igor Thiago and push behind for a corner kick. And this is a real last chance saloon for Brentford to get an equaliser and take this 2 penalties. It's Damsgaard who swings the ball in towards Nathan Collins. Unfortunately couldn't quite direct his header, and it does go wide of a post to keep the scores at 3-2. And we knew at this stage the game was beyond us. All they needed to do really was kick the ball out, and that was going to be the end of this game. The ball does get played around a little bit before the referee does blow his full-time whistle, and we do unfortunately lose the game, and we are out of the Cup, and we do lose that game 3-2. But to be fair, based on recent results, a 6-1 loss against Brighton, a 4-0 loss against Leeds, losing 3-2 to this Arsenal side with players like Mbappe in there, Ødegaard, Saka, isn't one that we're going to be too disheartened by. Obviously, it's not brilliant to be out of the Cup, and it's not great to lose games, but it was a really spirited performance to our credit, and one that we can definitely take that performance on, hopefully into future games, and should be able to get some points. We did get a message obviously from Onyeka, happy he got the game time he was asking for, and we did get a message also from the reserve goalkeeper Valdemirson, who wanted to discuss a new contract. He did mention it to us previously. It was just one that flew over our head, so we did decide to go into contract negotiations with the Icelandic goalkeeper, and we eventually offered him a contract offer of £24,000 a week, £100,000 signing on bonus. He's only 25 years old, so he's still young, especially in goalkeeping terms, 72 rated, so can definitely do a job when we need him. Obviously we had Kelleher out injured for 3 or 4 weeks beforehand, and he stepped in, so although he's not going to be our first choice goalkeeper, he can definitely still do a job. And luckily we haven't actually got any players with contracts due to end at the end of this season, as you saw there, so we've got some stability in this club, and hopefully we can just build on it over the next season or so, and hopefully push higher up the table. But at the minute in the table, as no surprise to anyone, we are slap bang at the bottom. 0 points, no wins, no draws, 5 losses, and that goals conceded tally is very, very concerning. 23 goals conceded this season, so that is definitely where we need to address, and we do look to make some changes in this one. Nedeljkovic, the new right back, starting in this game at right back, and we do decide after his performance against Mbappe and against Arsenal to start Arthur, the young central defender, in defence in this game. And it is another home game against Bournemouth. Once again, a really good side. They have lost Semenyo, who was obviously their main player, but they have brought in some really good players, so we knew this one was going to be difficult, and unfortunately we got off to the worst start possible, as we seem to be doing an awful lot this season. And it is Alex Scott, the man who recently got called up by England, who does put Bournemouth in an early lead just 8 minutes into this game. His first goal of the season. Again, it's down that left hand side where we're really struggling. The ball's coming in from this left hand side into the middle of the box, and they are managing to get the goals from those sort of positions. And they did have another chance here. Ball finds its way to Roman Favre. Good shot there, but Kelleher, strong hands to keep that one out and keep the scores at 1-0, and a fairly boring first half after that. So we are in the second half already, 1-0 down obviously in that one, but Damsgaard with a really good shot from range, but unfortunately couldn't quite get it on target, and does put it wide post. And a weird thing, I don't know if you saw a glimpse of him there, the Bournemouth manager is actually Diego Simeone, and a man known for his defence, but unfortunately the Bournemouth defence couldn't keep us out for any longer, and it is the Brazilian Matheus Tete who does get our goal to bring the scores back to 1-1 with a really good finish, a really good ball over top, and a really good finish from him to control that and put it in. And we did decide to take Bangula. Obviously he has had a long-term injury, so we did decide to replace Bangula with Dusan Vlahovic up front and move Atara to that left-hand side, but unfortunately it didn't really work for us straight away. Enazu now does manage to get Bournemouth back in the lead in this one, and Gurun scores 2-1, but we got a really good chance just after that, but it was that substitute Dusan Vlahovic, but a really poor shot from him, to be fair, really weak shot, and it was easily saved by the goalkeeper. Then we did get another chance. Cardona down that left hand side, plays it into Burkhart, and Burkhart makes no mistake from about 4 yards out and does get the equaliser for us, his second goal of the season, and does bring the scores back to 2-2. So now it's just all about holding on to this one to try and get our first point of the season. But Bournemouth are really pressing, falls Luis Enrique, goalkeeper comes out, once again gets caught in no man land, and Alex Scott, who scored 8 minutes into this game, scores 91 minutes into this game and gives Bournemouth the 3-2 lead. And at this stage of the game, that it will be the final score, because there's no time to do anything, and unfortunately we do get another loss. So a 3-2 loss against Bournemouth, but again another decent performance coming into this one. And then we do go straight into the next game, no time to mess around in this episode, and it is away to Everton at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. And you'd have seen there, probably the big news from this game is we did drop Caoimhin Kelleher from our goal. We didn't even bring Valdemirson in. We bought the young goalkeeper who played against Arsenal and performed so well against players like Mbappe, and it is Josh Eyestone to make his Premier League debut in this game away from home at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. And we got off to a better start in this one. It's Atara down this left hand side, finds his way inside, falls to Mikkel Damsgaard in the end. A really good shot from him, but unfortunately couldn't quite get it on target, and it does go wide of that post and out for a goal kick. And then at that stage, it was fairly all Everton at that stage. After that, Alcaraz with a really good run here, good feet from him and a good shot. But once again, as we said in the Arsenal game, Josh Eyestone using his 6'7" frame to keep that one out and keep the scores at 0-0. And then just a couple minutes later, we did get another really good chance. The ball fell to Ouattara in the middle in the end from point blank range, but a really good save from, I believe it's Kepa in the Everton goal in this game. But unfortunately for Kepa, he couldn't keep us out for too long. And it is that man, once again, the German, Jonathan Burkhardt, who does give us the 1-0 lead in this one, his third goal of the season. And if he can start finding some form up front, then hopefully that can really build us into a good position. But unfortunately, the lead didn't last too long. Really good first touch, to be fair, there from Barry, and a really good finish from him. So unfortunately, Eyestone couldn't keep a clean sheet on his debut, but he's made some really good saves in this game. But unfortunately, Eyestone's day gone from bad to worse. After conceding that first one, he does concede his second goal of the game just before half-time, and it is that man, Ilian Mendai, who does give Everton the 2-1 lead. A good finish from him in the middle of the box, and we do go into half-time with that 2-1 loss currently. And Everton started off a better of the two teams in the second half. A good play from Njai down that right hand side, but Eyestone managed to keep hold of the ball in the end. Just a couple minutes later, we do get another chance with Tara down the left hand side. Difficult angle, to be fair, and a good outstretched hand from Kepa to push that one behind for a corner kick. And then from the corner, as always, it is Mikkel Damsgaard looking to swing this one in. Plays it in towards Nathan Collins. Nathan Collins gets a header, but Kepa once again gets down low, stretches her right arm out and pushes it behind for another corner kick. And from this side, as always, it is that Django Ouattara swinging it out with his left foot, swings it in. Collins gets a header, but unfortunately couldn't quite do anything with it. Falls eventually back to Ouattara, looking to recycle it. Falls to Bangula. Scored a banger at the start of this episode, looks to score another one from about 25 yards out, but this time it couldn't get it on target, and it does go behind for a goal kick. And then Everton got another good chance there. Good save once again from Josh Eyestone in our goal to keep that one out. We do look to make the break here. Bangula picks it up, plays it into Sano, the two new boys linking up there. Sano with some good feet, plays in Damsgaard, plays it to the other side into Matthias Tete. Tete, obviously left-footed, plays it into Damsgaard. Damsgaard gets a really good opportunity, really good shot from Damsgaard, and Damsgaard does fire us back level as he did in the cup game against Arsenal, and gets his second goal in the league this season to bring the scores to 2-2. So once again, similar to Bournemouth game, it was all about preserving that draw, but unfortunately that draw didn't last very long, and Everton took a 3-2 lead pretty much straight after we scored our equaliser, to be fair, and a good finish, to be fair, to make the scores 3-2. And then Everton were attacking, looking to get more to put this game to bed, but Josh Eyestone once again made a good low save there, and we did make a couple of changes. Tete and Cardona coming off for Vlahovic and Coyote, looking to just once again some fresh legs, hopefully inject some pace and creativity into this team. But unfortunately it was Everton who kept attacking. A good shot there from Alcaraz, but Eyestone once again, although he's conceded 3 goals in this game, he has made absolutely no mug of himself, and another really good save from him. We did get a chance at the end, Damsgaard with a good shot, but unfortunately Kepa was there once again to keep that one out, and the scores did stay at 3-2. So 2 3-2 losses in a row, but some better performances definitely coming towards the end of this episode. So definitely something to build on, but it's going to get worse. We have got Arsenal in the next game, but that is going to bring this episode to an end. As always, please subscribe if you are following the journey. Please like if you haven't made it this far. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.